Every night for 11 nights, a 24-year-old girl sat alone on a cold hallway floor. No phone, no music, just her back against the wall and the quiet hum of an apartment that never quite felt like home. She wasn't waiting for anything, or so she thought. From behind the washing machine, two amber eyes were watching her the whole time. Nobody wanted the black cat with the golden eyes. He had been returned twice, called too loud, too difficult, too much. He spent 61 days in a shelter kennel watching people walk past without slowing down. Then, a 24-year-old girl sat down on a cold hallway floor, not calling him, not reaching for him, just sitting there. And on day 12, Shadow made his choice. Two people who had forgotten what it felt like to be seen slowly remembered. He was returned twice. The first family said he was too loud. The second family lasted exactly 9 days, called the shelter on a Tuesday morning and said he was too wild, too demanding, too everything. The shelter volunteers had their own word for him: relentless. Not as a complaint, just as a fact. Because Shadow, a sleek jet black cat with eyes the color of amber and the personal schedule of someone who had thought everything through, had a system for everything and expected the world to comply. He chirped at the window every morning at 6:09 a.m. He yelled at the ceiling like it owed him an explanation. He knocked a water bottle off the intake desk every single afternoon. Always the water bottle, with the calm precision of someone making a point. In 61 days at Cloverfield Animal Rescue, he had been passed by 34 families, returned by 2. Nobody took him home. Claire was 24 years old and had lived alone for 8 months in an apartment that felt 3 sizes too big. Not alone in the way people romanticize on social media, alone in the specific way that happens after you leave everything familiar behind. A college town, a long relationship, a version of yourself you no longer recognized. Her apartment had bare walls and a kitchen table she ate at every night with her phone propped against a glass so she had something to look at. She wasn't looking for a cat. She told herself she was just browsing. It was a Thursday evening when she saw the shelter post, a photo of a large, magnificently black cat sitting in a kennel with his tail wrapped around his feet, staring at the wall like it had personally let him down. Returned twice, 61 days. The caption said he was a lot. Claire screenshotted it without thinking. The next afternoon, she drove to the shelter. The volunteer at the front desk didn't sugarcoat it. He vocalizes constantly. He has opinions about furniture arrangement. He knocked over our water bottle 11 times in 2 months, and we only had 1 water bottle. A pause. He's also the most intelligent animal I've personally encountered. Whether that's a selling point depends entirely on the person. Claire walked directly to Kennel 7. Shadow is sitting in the back corner, enormous tail wrapped around his feet, studying the wall. When Claire crouched down in front of the kennel door, he turned his head slowly and looked at her the way someone looks at a person who has arrived late to something important. Not angry, just noting the fact. "Hi," Claire said. Shadow blinked once, turned back to the wall. Claire looked at the jet black cat who had just dismissed her like an inconvenient footnote. She thought about her apartment, the bare walls, the phone propped against the glass. She thought about all the things she had told herself were fine when they weren't. "I'll take him," she said. The volunteer looked genuinely surprised. Claire was a little surprised too. The first week was a quiet disaster. Shadow disappeared behind the washing machine within 4 minutes of arriving and did not come out for 2 full days. Claire left a small plate of food near the laundry room. Not close, just nearby. By morning, it was always empty. She didn't make a big deal of it. She just refilled the plate. On the 3rd night, she sat down on the hallway floor outside the laundry room with her back against the wall and her laptop open. She didn't call him, didn't reach in, just sat there the way you sit when you're tired of trying too hard. Because for the next 11 nights, that hallway became her spot. Every night, same wall, same quiet. Some evenings she worked, some evenings she just sat doing nothing, which she hadn't allowed herself in months. From behind the washing machine, 2 amber eyes watched. If you're still here and haven't subscribed yet, honestly, that stings a little. Hit subscribe. You're going to want to see where this goes. On day 12 at 6:47 a.m., Claire came into the kitchen to make coffee. Still in yesterday's hoodie, hair a situation, hadn't slept well. Shadow walked in from the hallway. He didn't announce himself, didn't chirp, didn't knock anything over. He walked to the kitchen with the measured dignity of someone who had made a decision and intended to honor it. He looked at Claire for a long, still moment. Then he jumped onto the chair across from hers, the one she never sat in. He turned once, settled, and tucked his paws beneath his chest, close enough that his tail drifted toward her coffee cup. Claire did not reach for him, did not speak, just poured her coffee and sat down. For the first time in 8 months, the kitchen didn't feel like a place she was just passing through. After that, the apartment shifted, not dramatically, in the slow, accumulating way that real things change. Shadow had opinions, and Claire learned them quickly. He disapproved of her work playlist and planted himself in front of her laptop with the authority of someone filing a formal complaint. He had claimed the left side of the couch and enforced this simply by sitting beside anyone who occupied it and staring until they moved. Claire always moved. He also developed a system for mornings. Every day at 6:09 a.m., without variation, he sat outside her bedroom door and chirped once, not twice, once. Claire started waking up at 6:08 just to open the door first. She never told anyone this. Some things deserve to be witnessed in quiet. The night Claire got a message she hadn't expected, the kind that lands at 9 p.m. and makes you sit very still on the kitchen floor, Shadow walked in, looked at her, and walked back out. Claire exhaled, even the cat. But then he returned. He was carrying a small toy, a battered stuffed mouse with one ear missing, that Claire had bought him in week 2. He dropped it at her feet and sat down, not touching her, just present. The way someone stays when they don't have the right words, but refuse to leave anyway. Claire picked up the mouse. Shadow climbed into her lap, all sleek black weight of him, and stayed. That was the first time. Later, washing her face at the sink, she said quietly to no one in particular, "He always knows." The silences in the apartment changed after that. They became the comfortable kind, the kind you don't need to fill. Claire started leaving her coffee half-finished and sitting longer than she needed to. Shadow sat across from her, cleaning his face with one paw, completely indifferent to how much he had rearranged everything. He had been returned twice, spent 61 days watching families pass by. He had every reason not to trust anyone, but he chose her anyway, on his own terms, in his own time, and she chose him back. If you've ever given a chance to something the world called too difficult, you already know what this feels like. Maybe Shadow is your sign. Is it patience that changes them, or do they change us first? Tell me in the comments.